Hola, Filterinos, and welcome to Movie of the Year. The reason you're not hearing the regularly scheduled introduction is this is me, Mike, solo, just popping in to let you know that this show is a little different. It's going to be a little wacky. It is what they call in the biz a blast from the proverbial past. We have a vault. Sometimes it's so big we lose things in that vault. But doing some spring podcast cleaning, we found this, the 1991 Action Figures Avengers Draft. Some say, is that name too long? I say no. It could be even longer. And maybe the next time we do one of these drafts, it will be. But that's why you're hearing this. That's why you're hearing Ryan host like he's in charge of this season. Hey, you know, he is not in charge of this season. It's me, your good buggy 2002 Mike. But this is 1991. So if we're not up to date on all the historical facts and figures, that's why. Maybe it was a different time. I'm going to already defend the jokes we made back then. Who knows what was happening? So without further ado, listen to 1991's Action Avengers Figures Drama.
Hello and welcome to the only podcast on the internet that has the science and the screaming to determine what is the single greatest movie of any given year. This season that we are working on is, of course, 1991, and Woo. I am your host. My name is Ryan. We are recording this on, what day is it, Mike?
It is a Tuesday.
March
45th.
May the March 45th be with you.
And with you.
A classic day to talk about a classic year. That year is 1991. We're not going to talk about one movie tonight like we normally do. We're not even going to talk about a bunch of movies. We're instead going to talk about characters, but characters in a certain way. Greg?
Would you say this is TBS?
No.
You think USA?
Yeah.
Is that where characters are welcome? TBS is very funny.
USA is characters welcome.
My bad.
TNT is We Got the Movies?
FX is We Got the Movies.
Shit, it's so hard to remember. Greg, when you were a little kid, this is what we're doing today is called the Action Figure Draft or the Avengers 91. We're still workshopping those, and we did not decide before we started recording. Greg, when you were a kid, did you have your Joes over here, your Transformers over here, and Never the Twain Shall Meet? Or when the toys came out, the fucking toys came out, and it was an all-out knockdown drag-out?
As someone who has played in a couple of my D&D games, Ryan, you're going to be shocked to learn that there was a Greg action figure cinematic universe, and they all had their different roles to play. If I purchased an action figure, it was worked into the story. So sometimes you would just be a dude, and you would be 6'1", and you would just have to fight a guy who was like a turtle, and then he was 7'3", and it's just well, good luck to you, friend.
I love. Okay, so this is giving me chills right now. Episode 98 of Greg's Toy Cinematic Universe is over.
GCU.
Roll credits, but then the post-credit scene is Greg walking up to a Ninja Turtle side character in a Target, and we know who's going to star in the next episode.
Well, dude, one thing that happened, even though I was too old to still be playing with action figures at this point, and I was always a playing with action figures guy. That's all they did for me was I would
fuck those boxes, burn them down.
Oh yeah.
When McFarlane Toys came around, there was a big expansion of characters in the Greg universe because I didn't even read
darker.
I didn't even read the Spawn comics really, but I was just super. These were the nicest action figures that had ever been made up until that point, and so it was just all right, now there's a clown, G.I. Joe, try to deal with this guy,
including a McFarlane toy that put me through some things at a very early age, which is Leather Dorothy from the Wizard of Oz line. Go ahead and look that up when you get a chance.
I thought you were going to say Witchblade, because clearly all of us.
Wait, Witchblade?
Witchblade.
Blade 2. If I have to pick Witchblade, it's Blade 2.
Blade 2 is great. Guillermo del Toro.
Mike, you weren't a put them on the shelf and never look at them guy, were you?
No, I played with them hard. My brothers had the McFarlane Spawns. They had Ninja Turtles. I cannot think of anything I had other than X-Men. I was a Marvel X-Men action figure purist.
Were you getting cards with those or no?
What?
Were you getting cards? Were you getting a little card, maybe a tiny comic?
Of course.
Mike, check me on this if I'm way out of line. But the X-Men action figures, great characters, cool looking figures. I felt like they didn't play super well though. Sometimes you wouldn't get it. They weren't very articulated.
They were not fully articulated. And then you see your best friend's Spider-Man, where literally every joint moves,
Oh, hell yes.
More than even your 7-year-old body could. And you're like, what the fuck? My random action figure, his arm can barely move up and down just from his shoulder. Also, I thought Random was going to be a huge guy in the comics, the guy whose arm turned into a gun.
Oh, yeah. On your 10-year-old podcast, you were like, guys, buy stock in Random. He is shooting up the charts.
Wait, is that the guy whose arm can turn into any kind of gun, though?
Yeah, a
Yes.
flesh-made gun.
You know, because he actually, he has been actually kind of featured in the last few X-Men. Like, not featured, but he's in, the background of, the last few
More
X-Men
modern
things.
X-Men, but he definitely went away from young Mike saying buy stock in Random, and then 30 years of everybody being like, who? Fuck you. And finally, he's back, baby.
It's also important that the X-Men line got so big that guy who is half human, half tank, whose name I do not remember, also got an action
One of the
figure.
Reavers.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
like, mutants are freaks. Look what I did to my body. Come on, Reavers.
Well, what we're going to do is, I think that this is the perfect year. God, I mean, I can't even imagine if we did the entire 1991 season without making sure that we did a action figure draft / 91 Avengers. What we're going to do is we're going to pretend like all of the characters are action figures. And in 91, they were, essentially. And we're going to draft 3 teams and have a knockdown, drag-out battle that we will vote on, where we all vote for our own teams. It's my favorite part of all of these shows.
Voting makes sense to me.
There's 6 rounds. Every character that you choose from must have come out in 1991. Once a character from one movie is selected, no other character from that movie can be selected. And the categories are drama, comedy, action, family, horror, sci-fi, and wild card. Horror and sci-fi, of course, being disrespected, being put together because we hate films. Right now, I'm going to click a button, and you're going to hear Mike probably do an air horn. I'm not asking him to. It's so hard to stop him from doing that. And I will give you the draft order for this draft. Click. Greg's up first.
Woo.
Then it's Mike. And then Ryan the Serpentine is up next. When we come back, let the Battle Royale begin. All right, gentlemen, round 1. Now, Mike, let me ask you a question. It's the 1991 action figure draft. Greg has first pick. Has there ever been a more obvious pick in the history of all of the drafts that we have ever done?
That he forgets Wild Hearts Can't Be Broken came out. Fuck, I mentioned it.
All right, so we're going to reserve Jennifer Wildhearts Cannot Be Broken for Mike. Greg, what do we got?
The only real question here, Ryan.
I know, it is actually.
Are you a T800 man or a T1000 man?
Well, besides the genres that we're doing, we're also in our minds thinking about roles, right?
yeah.
And what I'm thinking is that T1000 has the power, right? Much like FX has the movies.
Uh-huh.
But is he controllable? Like, you have to have a good captain on your team.
Yeah. The problem with the T1000 is he's got all the moves, and so he wants to have a little fun with it. And so he starts to get too kooky, and that kookiness gets the T800 takes advantage of that. Also, Arnold Schwarzenegger, I mean, the older I get and the older Arnold Schwarzenegger gets, the more I've had to come to reckon with the fact that, this was one of the most important people to me in my entire life. And that's, I'm not entirely comfortable with that, but it is, just the state of play. So, Ryan, I'm going to go with the T800 from T2. I do have to say, there were action figures from this series of movies, but they were not great action figures. They looked cool, but they didn't move enough for me.
Yes.
So I'm going to have my own special McFarlane
I was going to say, can we
brand
just
of
pretend
T800?
McFarlane makes all of our figures for this draft?
Yes, right?
Yes.
So much articulation, it's crazy. Yeah, I mean, from there, where do we even go? That's T800 off the board. That's T1000 off the board.
Yeah.
That's that.
Linda Hamilton off the board.
That's Linda Hamilton off the board. That's that
Buttnick.
ponytailed little ginger with the dirt bike off the board.
So long, Eddie Furlong.
No,
Mike, is
let's
there
end
any
this
reason
now.
to go on?
4
And if
minutes
so,
in.
make a pick.
I will knock off my action figure from a little movie I like to call Point Break. I'm taking Brody Broderson, the Brody Surfer.
Mm.
Ouch.
Now, this is a bad pick. It's my second pick after T800 was Johnny fucking Utah.
It's Bodie.
Oh, it's Bodie. No, it's Bodie. I agree that it's Bodie.
Okay, you guys are insane.
Or maybe the Busey
comes
character
with
that says
two
he wants
sandwiches.
2 sandwiches, and like you pull his arm up, and if you pull his arm up, he says two sandwiches, and
I
then
did think
he
about
holds
getting
a sandwich
Anthony
in each
Kiedis,
hand.
one of the side characters. Bada bing, California, when you pull his ponytail.
When he pulls ponytail, the top of his foot gets blown out by a shotgun, which is, I believe, what happens to him in that movie. Okay, now we're officially done. Like, I feel like those were both great picks, and I can just do whatever the fuck I want. So I'm going to go with action and then family, if you guys will allow it. My action is going to be Robin Hood, the
Son
Prince
of
of
a
Thieves.
bitch.
The Prince of Frickin' Thieves.
Now, this is, of course, played by Kevin Costner in one of the most magnificent English accents we have ever heard. But I do think that it's possible that I have my captain, right? Rouser of men.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Whoever.
You're
I can
taking
put a couple of slobs
the
on this
Robin
team
Hood.
now.
Okay.
Yes.
I just.
What do you mean?
I thought it could be another character.
You thought it was
think
going to
I
be another character?
Cousin.
Alan
Alan
Rickman?
Rickman dug out with a spoon, maybe.
Michael Wincott. You know what we didn't talk about when we, in the future, reviewed 2022's spaceship movie? What's it called?
Nope.
Get Out, Jordan Peele.
Nope.
Nope.
We might have.
we didn't talk about how
Wincott
Cousin was
fucking
in that
ruled
movie.
in that movie. Because there's an
Why
alien
a
in the skull.
You got great accessories with this one, Ryan. The bow and the arrow, a sword, probably some daggers that he could throw, a
medallion?
torch, like the whole Errol Flynn setup.
And if you get the whole
Dude, a
Sherwood
fucking
Forest,
dope medallion.
you get to
I'll
cut a
bet you
rope
this
and
much.
have the
It's
little
my
finger
signature
go
piece.
up on another rope.
That's the thing. I'm looking for the set pieces, and I'm looking for the like the
Hell yeah.
headquarters and things like that, where you would have rope, cut the rope, and your figure flies up.
Nice.
Now it's time for the Air Force. In family,
Farts.
I'm going the Rocketeer.
Yeah, dude.
And I think that these two, although not a ton of superpowers, have maybe the heart. Maybe you guys don't have heart, and
I'm a
mine
Surf
does. and
Zen
that's how
Buddha
I'm going
master
to
for
win.
my captain.
I'm now
I don't-
looking. I'm looking back at Greg's pick.
I don't really see like that kind of synergy that you get out of a team from these two guys. I mean, you got bow and arrow guy and you got flying around on a rocket guy. I don't know what they're doing together. Like, what mission is going to be like both these guys are on together?
Hey, Robin Hood. Yes, Rocketeer. Can I pick you up and we'll fly above and we'll shoot arrows in the top of everybody's heads? Of course you can, Rocketeer. Thank you for
I
asking.
just got Ryan's strategy.
All right, well, you painted a
Ryan
picture.
picked Robin Hood and Rocketeer. It's the RRR team.
Okay.
Yes, and they've all seen the movie RRR.
Oh.
Mike, we are back to you. Now, honestly, right here, the rules are stupid. Because if Mike had come down here with Johnny Utah, it's game over.
what you're saying is stupid.
Yeah.
Bodie. Well, if I could have both of them,
You
sure.
don't want both of those guys on the
But-
same team?
To me, you
I'm
guys are
going
both
to get
stupid.
rid of. Who do I want? This is hard. I'm going to take my comedy out of the way and get one master sword fighter and lover, Gomez Adams. Raul Julia,
Oh,
baby.
nice. Very good.
He's sexy. He's deadly.
Yeah.
Do you think that maybe Greg's off base here in that, Mike, you and I have 4 dashing, swashbuckling, like 1940s-esque, fun-to-watch superheroes, and then
Well, we're
Greg's
playing-
like,
we're
"Oh,
telling
big
different
guns,
stories."
grenade launchers,
Yeah, but like the biggest guns.
Do you guys
And,
remember that? Do you guys remember that sound that grenade launcher made when it would
Dum.
release? a
Yeah,
grenade?
dude.
Just that thump.
Dump. When the show Wednesday, which I think recently probably just came out or will come out in the next couple months, either it did or will come out. The most striking thing was this huge step back in the Gomez.
they were
Adams
trying to be like,
swag
well, the
category.
original
Yeah.
Charles Adam comics, he was a little troll of a man. Let's do that again. But I had a big problem with the parents in that show, or will have a big problem with the parents in that show.
Yeah, one of the two.
I have an idea, and I heard that Catherine Zeta-Jones is better than Luis Guzman, but I'm a huge Guzman fan from way back. I have an idea. Everyone knows that Raul Julia and Angelica Houston were so iconic. Just don't do it. Just don't do it.
Dude.
Although Christina Ricci was
But
the most
Jenna
iconic,
Ortega,
and they did that, I
beast.
guess. Okay.
Or will be.
Man, back in this day right now when we're recording, do we think
You know
Jenna
what?
Ortega is going to be a big thing
I
or
put
not?
my money on Jenna Ortega.
I say yes. There's going to be a part where she does an iconic dance.
To some sort of,
And
I
I
can't
think
even,
that's
some,
what-
what's a
that's
band
gonna
we've all
really
forgotten?
sweep the
Some
whole
sort of like
show into the
swamp punk.
conversation.
I don't even know if that's a real genre.
Do you guys think that at some point Gen
Yes,
Z will
I
just
do
change their name to Jen Ortega? Greg, you're up. Give me one, and then we're going to take the quickest of breaks.
Okay. How about this? Mike was smart because he jumped in there and he got a comedy, and he maybe got the strongest of the comedy guys. But since we're talking raw power, I'm going to want to go with Charlie Meadows, or also known as AKA Carl Madman Munt. Carl Madman Munt with, of course, the famous line, I'll show you a life of the mind, which I think about a lot. I was going with like accessories with this one. Could have like his cool flip up
I'm
nudie
trying to think of
tie.
the movie.
What movie is this
Oh,
from?
thank you. Is this John Goodman?
Oh, Barton Fink. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Yes, yeah. Carl Madman
My
Munt
notes said
from,
John Goodman the
from
devil. So
Barton
thank you
Fink. Well, I have, because we just so recently talked about this
Sure.
movie. I just had that off the top of the dome.
Fresh in the
Um,
mind.
Yeah. And I think a lot of cool play sets, like the flaming hallway, or just like the rooms themselves.
Yeah, the playsets that have like
Love
reapply
those
and then
play
still
sets.
fall off wallpaper. That's
Mhm.
adorable. You know what,
And then-
Greg? Uh-huh.
Do I go again, Ryan?
I was going to take a break, but why? Greg, just go again.
Oh, okay. didn't mean to jump the break. I gotta have somebody to play with Carl Madman Munt, and you gotta make sure you're building up a good team of guys who are gonna get on and have something to talk about. And honestly, maybe they want to chop it up and talk shop with Hannibal Lecter.
Oh, shit.
This
This
is
was
from-
it.
Oh.
This is from Silence of the Lambs, guys. This is a
barely
character from Silence of the Lambs.
Is this drama or family?
I'm putting it in drama. All families are drama, Ryan. That's what I've
think
learned.
all
All
dharmas are
dharmas are
Gregs.
dreams. All families are dramas. All dharmas are Gregs. That's what made that show so confusing.
Because it was
Now,
a
some people
one-man
might-
show, like the Cher Sonny Bono thing,
Yeah.
where you dress half and half. I'm Dharma. I'm a little bit Dharma, and I'm a little bit Greg.
Some people might say, is the robot man from the future going to get on with two serial killers? And you know what? I think they'll work it out. They can't kill him. So I think they'll have like a grudging respect for one another.
As time goes on, I'm starting to think less and less that Greg will win the Battle Royale, but will absolutely win
Yes.
the real-world season of these characters. All right, Mike, you got one. What's up? What's
I'm
up, buddy?
going to
Where are we
go
going?
drama and get one badass bitch from the Moulin Rouge, a.k.a. Thelma. I'm getting Thelma. She comes with the gun.
Shit!
She comes with the
Hell
car.
yeah, dude.
Louise not included.
I mean, it would be nice because that's the motivator, right? Like, touch Louise and I will fucking kill you. But
But when you buy
yeah,
an action
I'd
figure,
like-
just fill in. So now I
this
have
is
to
good
touch
pick.
Gomez Adams, and I will fucking kill you. Who comes with Thing, by the way? I don't know if we talked about that.
Or maybe with every action figure from Mike's set that you
Yeah,
buy, it
she's
comes with one
8 feet
piece
tall.
of Louise. And then you can build the Louise at the end.
So you are on record,
Yes.
Mike, saying that Gomez Adams comes with Thing.
Okay. Well, so do all of my characters. How about
That's a
that?
lot of loose hands.
All right, I'm going to take one last pick before we go on break, and I am going to go with horror sci-fi, and I am
Good
going
one.
to go with Freddy Krueger, who in 1991 played. This was the meta
New
nightmare,
was
right?
the
Freddy's
meta
dead, the
one.
final nightmare.
Okay.
Oh, new nightmare. Okay, I'm sorry. Then scratch all that. But I do
Yeah.
need some powers, right? I need some. I've got the dashing. I've got the handsome. I've got the swashbuckling
The
1940s.
muscle.
But I am going to need somebody who could actually kill people. And the
burned
muscle.
up little freak.
Everyone's. I mean, that's a category, right? It's like demolitions expert. And so he's my burnt up little freak, and I'm gonna see what it's like. Is Robin Hood, is Kevin Costner charming enough to get Freddy to go? Like, yeah, all right, I'll do what you say. I don't know. Frankly, I don't want to know. We're gonna take a break, and when we come back, we're gonna fill out the rest of these teams. And we are back. It is my turn. I have a wild card selection that I can make, but we have decided, like gentlemen, gentle people, to do that last. So I have to decide between drama and comedy. And in the comedy section, I think I'm just going to straight up. So I've got Robin Hood and the Rocketeer, right?
Of course.
Yes.
That's the front. That's the face. In your dreams, we have Freddy Krueger. And if we can't kill you in your dreams, let's kill you in any other way possible. I'm going to take Death from Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Nice. I love
That's
it.
a good one.
Now, he's a little beatable. I mean, Bill and Ted did play him in like 19 different board games and eventually were able to get out of hell. But I think that if your characters have not seen Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, I think Death can get you.
I think Death is going to be the one to get you. The only other one from Ryan that I thought from this one would be
Station?
Station. Of
Station.
course. Yeah. So I'm a little sad to miss out on Station.
But not for this team. But we can all admit a Rufus action figure would be fucking dope.
Yeah. I mean, like, if we had a like wild card, or I'm sorry, like an extra spot for like a mentor or a coach, that's Rufus. What the fuck, guys? Like, okay, so we had this comedy where these two teenagers, like, sort of dumb, they go back in time. Okay, for the sequel, I have these two twin trolls that are called as a collection station. What?
It's just a cool idea. They just letting their freak flag fly,
It's
man.
your constant. Well, if time travel is true, what else then must be true?
Station.
There's just some alien called Station.
I wonder if in the Key and Peele meeting, when they did the Gremlins 2 pitch sketch, where they were like pitching all those ideas for Gremlins 2, if it could have been Bogus Journey as well, because it's just as fucking insane. All right, I have those 4 spots filled. Mike, you are up.
I'm going to knock out my sci-fi fantasy, a little movie I like to call The Secret of the Ooze. Came out in
I
1991.
cannot believe this lasted so long.
Nor can I, and I'm going to take Super Shredder.
Oh, damn.
Over the doctor, the scientist who goes down to the sewer and helps them?
The surprising is over Kino, because I think Kino would be a great action figure, and he'd have like you spin his waist back and he has a flying kick. But Super Shredder will be my muscle for in front of Bodhi, Gomez, Adams, and Thelma. You throw Super Shredder the tank out first.
I want to buy and play with you two action figures right the fuck now. That's pretty good. Was it hard to not pick one of the turtles?
Yes, and then because I couldn't, I was like, pick Super Shredder. My first
What do you
pet,
mean because you couldn't?
I couldn't choose.
Oh,
I couldn't
see.
decide. My first pet was a box turtle, and every week his name changed until as a 5-year-old I said, this is ridiculous. His name is just Ninja.
I was personally I was going to go with Michelangelo.
I was going to go with Raphael.
Okay.
See?
Your turtle lived a good life until you put him into the paper shredder, or as you called it, the super shredder.
The Super Shredder.
Yeah.
And you know what? In that version, the Super Shredder won.
Greg, you have 2 picks. You have They Must Come From Family
Yes.
and Horror Sci-Fi Fantasy.
Okay. Check it out. Family, I got to go with family favorite feature film, Peter Pan. Or rather, Hook. And I will take the character from it, Peter Pan. An adult Peter Pan, you got the best of both worlds there, man. You got
Penis and vagina.
He can fight. He can crow. And he's played by Robin Williams.
A little surprised. Our Rufio heads out there are probably upset right now.
This is a surprising pick from this movie. I'd say.
I like action figures that of characters that didn't die.
Oh,
So,
And then those of our fans who have heard our Hook episode are probably surprised that you weren't going with Shmee here.
yeah, I'm a big Shmee head. Obviously,
Who
I call myself a Shmee male. But I couldn't lose sight of the fact that like there might be some sort of like tussle that these characters all get into, and I think Peter Pan's got more moves. He can fly, you know.
yeah. He can fly. He can crow. You are the Pan. He has a
You are
gold
the
sword.
Pan.
And I'm seeing this right now, Greg, that Peter Pan comes with the Thing from Addams Family.
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
It's not the Thing. His name is the Thing.
And then I don't know how much in this 1991 season we're going to get a chance to talk about this movie, but there was a series of films that was actually kind of popular, and it even led to a TV show, and I feel like it has been erased from the collective consciousness, and that is Highlander. Highlander 2 came out in 1991, and I would like to, for my horror, sci-fi, fantasy category, I would like to select The Highlander from Highlander 2.
The
Is that-
Quickening?
The Quickening.
Is the Highlander 2 the one where the catchphrase is "there can only be one" unless it's Highlander movies?
There could be, there could be only one. When they cut off each other's heads with swords, they like absorb each other's powers, and they keep getting stronger and stronger.
But
It's
it
a
has to
cool
be heads?
premise. It has to be heads. Yeah, that's the only way they can die because they're all aliens and they disperse their power, and now it's recollecting. That it's better when you just know that they have to fight with swords, and like some of them will use a claymore, and some will use a katana.
I love for his entire career, Sean Connery was like, "No, I'm not going to do that. We'll put it like a Scottish bent to it for no reason. All right, I'll do it. I'm in. I will do this thing."
And yet in that movie, he plays a Spanish guy.
Of course he does.
Weird
I'm
move.
a Spanish galleon capturing Drummond.
Well, we don't know because we don't have recordings. That's what the Spaniards used to
Yeah,
sound
dude.
like.
And then the Scottish heard it. They were like, "That's pretty cool, actually."
Let's steal the way that they talk. Greg, before we get to wild card, you've got Hannibal Lecter, John Goodman, whatever, T-800, Peter Pan, and the Highlander. I don't know, Mike. Fearsome team?
It is a good team.
Mike, you have to pick from family. What do we got?
I honestly cannot believe that this lasted this long. He's got fangs, razor sharp ones. Killer claws, he's there for the feed. I'm taking the beast.
Does he love girls that love books?
He loves girls, a man after my own heart. He loves girls that loves books. Yeah, he is a beefy boy and also the star of one of my favorite Sega Genesis games as a kid, even though it was hard as shit.
Oh, so you were a hardcore gamer. You played Beauty and the Beast.
Yes. You could
that
not
the
beat
fighting
the second
game?
level, man.
And a clearly beast form, right? Even though that's a curse that he is like trying to get over the entire movie, and it's supposed to be happy once it goes away. You don't want the human person.
Oh,
right?
no, the guy with the puffed up lips? No, thank you.
The guy that wouldn't even help an old lady in the rain.
No, fuck that little 7-year-old kid.
What I'm guessing is that Gomez and Bodhi are like talking to each other saying, like, let's just tell this bitch that he will lose his beast form if he just completes one more task, and they keep
Yes.
telling him that.
And Thelma's like, I don't know, that seems kind of mean. But she goes along with it anyway because he fucks good.
Last Boy Scout is a drama, yes?
Definitely, yeah. I think there's a
Sure.
lot of dramatic notes in that.
Okay. I'm actually going to take I'll take Last Boy Scout later.
You'll take Hudson Hawk right now.
We can't have two from the same movie, but can we have two from the same actor?
Yes, when it's this
Yes.
particular actor, yes.
I have my two top picks for drama were gone. Not to talk any shit on this person, but Darren Doughboy Baker, played by Ice Cube in the film Boys in the Hood. He's my gunman, and he's also my motivator. Like, he's just always going to be talking about how somebody just killed somebody else on our team, and he will be driving the hydraulics-filled car into battle in order to get you guys. So I will be taking Darren Doughboy Baker.
A strong choice. If on my team, if someone is talking about how someone just got killed on my team, it's most likely somebody else on my team actually did it. Like Hannibal Lecter's looking at Peter Pan like, I could kill that dude.
God,
He also has some lawyer jokes locked and loaded.
And then finally, I have to. We're going to go through honorable mentions later, which I have many of. But Joseph Hallenbeck, played by Bruce Willis, from the movie The Last Boy Scout.
Yes. Of course.
Maybe my team just wasn't cool enough and didn't have enough one-liners, which I think are important in the action figure battle. So
Sure.
Joey Howell's on my team. Mike, who is your wild card?
I guess I shouldn't because a lot of my honorable mentions are in the wild card category. So I will just say super murderous, heartless, you cannot defend against. The bees from My Girl are my wild card.
A lot of buzz around that pick, Mike.
That's good, Greg.
I was thinking about making that same pick, so that kind of stings, Mike. The Greg Hive is going to be upset.
Yeah. The Bees from My Girl, which was my 2-year-old daughter's costume from last Halloween.
It's true.
Specifically the Bees from My Girl.
She's already messed up. She's already making messed up jokes. I love it.
I can't wait until we go over these teams and we talk about what role in like the the clique of Mike's team the Bees from My Girl play. And Greg, your wild card.
Ryan, a reading, if I may. Johnny, Vanilla Ice, is a rebellious rapper whose ice-cold heart thaws when he sets eyes on Kristen Miller, played by Kristen Minter. Whoa. They couldn't be more different. She's a straight-A student whose biggest thrills comes from horseback riding. He's a moody misfit who tears up the street with his yellow motorcycle. It won't be easy to win her heart, especially with Kristen's athletic ex-boyfriend blocking the way. But when her dad gets in trouble with gangsters, Johnny proves his worth. He gets in trouble with gangsters, and he calls in Vanilla Ice.
I need a young white rapper to help with the situation.
So yeah, I don't have anybody with a yellow motorcycle yet, so I'm going to go with Johnny.
Hey, you, writer of the Cool as Ice description, could you be more descriptive? Oh, I'm so sorry. Tears up the streets with a yellow motorcycle? Perfect.
Yeah,
you did
dude.
it. You nailed
The name of the
it.
movie is Cool as Ice, so Vanilla Ice was in 2 hit movies this year?
Yeah, that's where you fucked up, Greg, is you could have picked the rapper from the Ninja Turtles movie.
No, I did not. Instead, I got Johnny.
Wow. An interesting pick from an interesting person. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we are going to go over all 3 teams.
And well, for the grand finale, I don't want to say Ryan left the room crying because he realized he lost. But there's always that kid when you're playing action figures who gets a little too emotionally
I mean, he
attached.
left the room crying for some reason, right?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to... You give me a word, Greg. I'm not going to... What's a better word for guess? I'm not going to exculpate. I'm not going to...
You're not going to conjecture?
I'm not going to conjecture about why he cried and left, leaving the room saying you guys are dicks. But something made him do that. So, Greg, you and I as friends, let's finish this out and talk about our teams.
Let's see which one of the 2 of us wins.
Yes. So because he left, he forfeits. Ryan, for his drama role, had Darren Doughboy Baker from... What movie was that from?
Yeah, who's Darren Doughboy Baker?
Darren Doughboy Baker.
Well, it's a dumb pick, and it's stupid, and he lost.
It's a dumb pick. We can't... Oh, Baker, okay. His comedy, he picked Death. Pretty good pick, but as he said, you can beat him with board games.
Yeah.
Robin Hood, one of the worst, and this is a movie near and dear to both of our hearts, you and me.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But the worst Robin Hood. The Rocketeer, great. Probably the strongest pick so far.
Yeah, and especially from like an aesthetic point of view, like whole visual of the Rocketeer is perfect.
And we didn't talk about that aesthetics. And as an action figure, it's going to look sick.
Yeah, definitely. And gonna have the little rocket thing. I bet you could have plastic parts that look like the jets coming out the back of it.
Freddy Krueger, Todd McFarlane designed would look cool.
But I kind of like that one because I feel like we kind of maybe we can underestimate the fact that all these guys got to sleep, and then that's Freddy's time to play.
And he will let you know with some sort of pun and rhyme. And then closing out with his wild card, and it's because, you know what, we all have our weaknesses, and his is Joseph Hallenbeck.
Mm-hmm.
Out of all the 18,000 times Bruce Willis played this character, this is not one of the strongest.
I happen to not be a Hallenbeck girl, so...
No, you're not a Hallenbeck girl? They say, Greg, ain't no Hallenbeck girl.
Yep, that's what they say, and sometimes they sing it.
And that is fun.
So that is what the
Mostly
third place team looks like.
That is the third place team. And then before we decide who wins, Greg, let's go through. Do you want to do your whole team or drama you, drama me?
Okay, my drama, Mike, was Hannibal Lecter.
And mine is Thelma from End Louise.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, I have more experience in the murdering game, but Thelma's not anyone you want to take for granted.
You don't want to tussle with her, and we do know, based on the text, that Hannibal maybe has a soft spot for strong women. And for comedy, who do you have?
I have the John Goodman character, Charlie Meadows, or Carl Madman Munt. And I'm imagining, I didn't say this at the time, but I'm imagining he's got like a switchable face or something. Like maybe you could rotate his face around.
Like the mayor from Nightmare?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So sometimes he's screaming and like red in the face, and other times he seems genial and happy.
I have Gomez Adams. And here I'm going to call this one a draw because I think these guys are going to fucking love each other.
Yeah, right? Because Gomez is going to be like, hey, I also kill people all the time.
They're just going to get a drink and be their jovial versions of themselves.
Gomez Adams was, for me, one of your stronger picks, Mike, I must say.
Thank you. And I got it early on.
Yeah.
Is this the time where I can brag about things like that? And here's where, like, no matter what the rest of here's where I don't want to say here's why you won. But, Greg, what's your action pick?
The T-800, Mike, the Arnold Schwarzenegger battle robot from T2. Who learns to love and also wins the day.
Learns to give a thumbs up. That'll make you tear up. Versus Bodhi. And Bodhi can surf.
Bodhi's a surfer. He's going to come to the surfboard. I like that.
But the T-100 will cream him. If we're kind of doing this head-to-head thing right now, he will cream him. Family.
Peter Pan. I got Peter Pan.
You have the overweight, just remembered his powers, Peter Pan versus prime of his life, Beast.
I think you got me there.
And thank you. So I don't even argue like he's adept and knows how to scream at other magical beings till they do his bidding. I think you have an edge on this next one in your horror, sci-fi, fantasy category.
Yeah, because I've got the Highlander and you took Super Shredder. And Super Shredder looks cool, but all he does basically is just get himself crushed.
Yeah, his weakness is peers.
Yeah.
And because Bodhi's on my team, there's a lot of peers around. We are on the Pacific Coast. And I think I got to give that to the Highlander.
And then wild card, Mike, I took Vanilla Ice or Johnny. From Cool as Ice.
And his yellow motorcycle.
And the yellow motorcycle, of course.
But I do have the bees from My Girl.
And I have to say,
murderous.
I think probably the bees from My Girl would handle Vanilla Ice like he handled those gangsters.
I bet they'd be a little pissed that he has a yellow bike that buzzes. And they're like, that's
pretty
around. Much our thing. But I don't like. I wasn't keeping track head to head there, but you know what? You got T-800, Greg. You win.
Yeah, I think you probably carried.
You fucking won from the first pick.
The literal killing machine.
Yes, that is what he was designed to do. And that is our show. That is our 1991 Action Figures Avengers.
Let's make sure we tag this
Roundup.
so that we don't accidentally misplace it or something. Some of the 91 shows kind of slip through the cracks. Let's not let this one disappear.
We're changing from Dropbox to Google Drive, and organization system's getting weird. So yes, this will be on time. This will be in the right place. And 91, talking about it in this year, 2022.
Can't wait to get back to it. We still got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 to talk about. We're still gonna do.
I'm not
our
doing that show. I'm calling it right now. Fuck it. I'm so mad Super Shredder died. I'm not gonna do that show. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt though. But what other shows are we gonna have to do still?
Oh man, we got Hook coming up.
That's Patreon only, I believe.
I think we're gonna do Doc Hollywood.
Ooh. Hudson Hawk.
Nope,
Lost to the Ages. Well, that is our show. Until next week, keep playing with those action figures.